Our beam swap customer has returned for a serious upgrade. Here's a hint. Well, if it's not obvious, we put a serious angle kit on the car, and not just any angle kit, the Just Engineering Angle Kit for AE86. The AE86 part was probably self-explanatory. Let's take a look at what the kit looks like and what it took to install it. Alright, Just Engineering. These are the camber plates. The entire plate will move clockwise and counterclockwise to majority adjust the amount of caster you have, but a little bit of camber adjustment. This is different from what Dr. Garage has. And again, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is the updated AE86 kit. The one Devin from Dr. Garage has a camber adjustment only, but the updated kit, this is mainly for caster adjustment. So loosen up these three, and then you can put in a 1/2-inch socket and move this counterclockwise, clockwise. You get rid of your factory camber plates, and instead there's a spherical bearing in there, and your existing coilover will use these Just plates as the new camber plates. We're running Annex Suspension Fast Road Pro coilovers. So this is actually a two-piece design. There's this upper plate that's basically just a riser, and then the actual camber plate portion down here. No instructions with this kit, which was super frustrating. At one point, I was just about to call this the Justin Timberlake Engineering Kit. Again, like the frustration of a complex kit like this that wants you to cut into the body, but then no instructions. Fortunately, Justin at Just Engineering promptly responds to emails, and I'll show you, we had an issue under the car with the kit that he very quickly resolved. But yeah, pro tip, they have two emails on the site. You want to do just at Just Engineering, not the info at Just Engineering. I contacted info at Just Engineering first, and it was cricket. And again, in my frustration, I was just about to make a parody video about Justin Timberlake Engineering. So how I made this cutout, AE86 camber plates are left and right specific, so Justin advised us to take the opposite side, flip it upside down, and then move this in an arc. And you could see where the min and max of this ends up. So center punch, turn it the other way, center punch, you have your two centers. I used a 1 1/2 hole sawed 2 holes, and then just used my die grinder to round this guy out. Beware, after you punch the 2 holes with a hole saw, this will look like a nutsack. Yeah, we lucked out on the Annex coilovers fitting. So inside this spherical bearing just provides basically a reducer sleeve, so that the ID of this top nut of your coilover will direct fit inside the Just camber plates. But the question on my mind is, I imagine this would only fit certain models of coilovers. So I definitely shoot Justin an email first before ordering this kit. Make sure your existing coilovers are compatible. With that being said, why don't we take a look underneath at all the angly parts of the car. Alright, so pretty wild. We actually have the kit set at the minimum amount of angle. Let me repeat that, the minimum amount. Alright, so a little bit of background. The customer purchased this kit and then was like, hey Ezekiel, what do you think about this kit? And I was like, man, I don't really know. And he was like, well, I bought it already. Do you want to install it? So here we are. As you can tell, this kit is really extreme for a street car. These are 14x6 wheels, and they already stick out past his plus 40 fiberglass fenders. So I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do about that yet. But why don't we take a look inside at the kit. Some things to note: you cannot run a front sway bar. This is their proprietary LCA. Your camber adjustment's gonna be back there at this Heim. You also have a little bit of caster adjustment right here. This will basically get rid of your LCA and tension rod. They have an integrated RCA and steering knuckle, which just heads up, if you buy the kit, your RCA bolts are probably going to be too long. So we had to source the correct bolts. M12 by 1.25 and then 60 millimeters in length. Really oddball size, so beware, your factory RCA bolts aren't going to fit in this guy. Luckily, the Annex coilover is bolted right up. There's protrusions on the top of this RCA to allow for a precision fit, so I really liked that part. These two together fit very snugly, almost like a press fit. Obviously, with this much angle, your brake line may not have enough travel. While the car was here, we upgraded to the Technofit 5-piece stainless brake line kit from Battle Garage. If you look over here, we have our temporary solution. So you see that I have it tied up here with zip ties instead of the original location. If I put it in the original location, this line was gonna get way too stretched out. If we looked back here, right there. So our tab, I bent it up that way and angled it. So again, this line would not get stretched out. You see at full lock, this rear section of the line still has flex to it. It's not pulling on the actual hard line back there. Again, we gotta have the customer test this out first, so we'll come up with a more permanent solution for this brake line mounting later on. All right, so why don't we turn this guy around, see the back side, and I'll show you some other things we did. All the angle, all of it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna crouch down and take a look under here. We originally got the Megan power steering inner tie rods from Battle Garage RS, which ended up now presenting a problem because the outer tie rods from Just Engineering ended up being too long. But, you know, thank you to Justin, very prompt response and super fast shipping got us some shorter version of the outer tie rods. So beware, there's 2 different lengths of outer tie rods depending what inner tie rods you have. Right here, you can see the steering stop that's adjustable. And then at full lock, it hits the steering stop right here on the LCA. I added 2 more washers to the steering stop. I would have added more, but adding more washers, the steering stop actually does not hit this stop. And the reason I wanted to add more was to actually reduce the total amount of angle, because you can see this is already like really crazy for a street car. And yeah, just really important, full lock to lock. I made sure the wheel can fully turn and it's not going to contact anything on the body. Yeah, pretty cool. If you look at our outer tie rod and the LCA, they're both on the same plane. Kudos to Just Engineering for including spacers for the bolt for the outer tie rod, so you can allow for a bump steer adjustment. So that was pretty trick. You can see the Heim joint on our inner LCA, and this is going to be not only our camber adjustment but also our track width. On a street car, I cannot imagine why you would need more track width than this. This is an extreme amount of track width for a street car. I have to ask Devin what size wheel and tire he's running, or you know, maybe the Gen 2 kit that we have got even more extreme. How much more extreme do you want it? I'm hoping we can get some driving impressions with the Just Engineering kit. I'm really curious with this extreme front track width, extreme front angle. How's the driving characteristics of the car going to be? Already the steering got really heavy. I'm sure the amount of positive or negative caster that we end up dialing this car into is going to affect the weight of the steering too, but just another thing to be aware of with a manual steering car with an angle kit, right? Any questions or comments about this kit, leave it down in the comments below. Appreciate all the support, you guys. Catch you guys next time.